Holbeck Delivery Office is saved, so let's get it going. Hi and welcome to this episode of the forum. My name is Scott Haslam and I'm your Vice President of the Leeds #1 Amalgamated Branch of the Communication Workers Union. Our videos include tutorials, news and interviews like this one, so if this is your first time watching, please consider subscribing and hit the bell symbol to be notified when we upload future videos. I'm here with Chris Allen, the CWU rep for Holbeck Delivery Office, and we are in the saved Holbeck Delivery Office. And today I'm going to interview him about this campaign and how he managed to make it a success. Can you tell us, how did you find out? Did you just turn up one day and just been given notice that they were going to close Holbeck?
Yeah, in a nutshell, yeah, that's basically what happened. Turned up one day for work in September 2017. Then the area manager came down and a national planner came into the office together, and they said they wanted to meet with myself, the area delivery rep and the manager. So we went into the office and they told us they wanted to start a 12-week consultation with a view to closing Holbeck Delivery Office down and merging us into City Delivery Office. And that was the first we got to find out about it.
Did they give you any rationale as to why they wanted to merge Holbeck with City DO?
The rationale they gave us was to improve customer experience, to improve efficiency, and they didn't mention anything about sort of closing it with a view to saving money, with a view to selling the building. They said that it would be better for customers. Those were the reasons they gave why they wanted to close the office down. Right,
so nothing really that you would have expected, it just seems to be a bit wishy-washy, should we say?
Yeah, the reasons they gave were straight away unacceptable to me, as the rep in Holbeck, and I made that very clear at the outset. I didn't feel that those were good enough reasons to close Holbeck and merge us into City Delivery Office.
Was there anything that they actually said that you thought, yes, I agree with this aspect of it, but all that I don't? Or was it just a carte blanche, no, that's rubbish, bring it on?
Yeah, that's really what it was. It was a carte blanche, no, don't agree with anything, we're going to oppose every aspect of it. The reason being is because we didn't feel that the reasons they gave were adequate, and we felt that the closure of the delivery office and mergers into City Delivery Office would have no benefit whatsoever to the staff, either at City or Holbeck, would have no benefit to the customers in Leeds 11, and we didn't feel that it would improve efficiency for the business. In fact, we believed that it would actually worsen it.
So I think it's fair to say then, from the response that you've just given, you decided that you were going to take charge of this campaign. Could you talk us through the first steps to setting your campaign up and moving it on?
Well, obviously after the initial discussions, we obviously agreed to go into the 12-week consultation process, right. But in between doing that, a campaign was started by myself, working in tandem with Andy Lee, the branch secretary, and Asghar Khan, the political officer, along with the area delivery, or sub-area delivery rep at the time, Chris Buttle. And we decided to organise a public campaign, both through social media and through public community protests, as well as meeting with the members, both in City and in Holbeck Delivery Office, to make it clear that from the outset, the CWU opposed this move and would do with all in its power to stop it. So in the October, we had a public protest that featured in local newspapers. In fact, it featured in the Yorkshire Evening Post as well. At Crossflats Park in Leeds 11, we started petitions, both online and paper petitions. We obviously had meetings with the members out of hours, and during the consultation process, we made it clear at every meeting that we had with Royal Mail that both the public and the staff at Holbeck and the staff at City opposed this merger and the closure of Holbeck Delivery Office.
So they had 100% faith in the campaign that you was putting forward, 100% faith in the end result, that they did not want it closing. Was there anyone that said, well, it's better that it goes to City? What sort of response was it from the public and the members?
From the public, there was not one positive remark about moving to City. Everything was negative in terms of having to travel to City, the parking at City, where City is located, the fact they would have to go across town to get their parcels as opposed to coming to the local delivery office. There was not one member within Holbeck Delivery Office that felt it was a good move, and certainly within City, the majority of members opposed that move of us into City Delivery Office. So I would say 90% and maybe 95% from both staff and the public opposed this move to City Delivery Office.
You've touched on some of the people that you got in touch with in terms of Andy Lee, the branch secretary, in terms of Haslam, a political officer and local councillor. Was there any other people, or perhaps Asger or Andy, help pull some strings and get certain big people on board with this campaign?
Yes, Asger got in touch with Hilary Benn and also the local councillors Angela Gabriel as well as Adam Ogilvie, because we ended up having 3 public protests, one in Crossflats Park and 2 in Holbeck, just around the corner from the delivery office here. And all those councillors supported those public protests, and Hilary Benn supported 2 of those protests. He couldn't get to one of them because of political commitments. So yes, there was some fantastic support from the local councillors and Hilary Benn. Hilary Benn also brought up the office closure at the select committee in the House of Commons when that was being discussed around Royal Mail's strategy to close delivery offices up and down the country. Hilary Benn specifically mentioned Holbeck Delivery Office. He clearly manifested his disgust at Royal Mail's decision to close the office, and he encouraged Royal Mail to think again. He got in touch with the relevant people within Royal Mail to make his concerns known. And Andy Lee and Asger Khan, they helped to organise the public protests as well. Andy at the branch got some leaflets published so that we could let the public know what was going on, with relevant contact details of various councillors who they could get in touch with, as well as obviously who they could get in touch with Royal Mail. And so yes, it was a coordinated effort in order for that to take place. We had good support from a lot of the members in City Delivery Office, made it clear that they weren't happy verbally, and some even in writing when they spoke to some of the HR people. The City Delivery rep at the time that the consultation started was George Robinson. He did some fantastic work in supporting the campaign that we were running from Holbeck, and then when he stepped down, the new rep, Stuart Friend, he took that on board and was a fantastic support in organising the members at City and in supporting the work that we were doing together to meet with Royal Mail and make it clear through the IR framework that we were unhappy with the move and the reasons why. I would also like to mention specifically Paul Arundel, the Area Health and Safety Rep, because Paul did some fantastic work in demonstrating that the move was not feasible from a health and safety point of view, particularly around the building at City not being fit for purpose anyway, but on top of that certainly not being fit for purpose when it came to trying to move another nearly additional 50 staff from Holbeck into City. And connected to that was the fact that Paul got in touch with the National Safety Officer, Dave Joyce, who also did some fantastic work nationally in dealing with the Royal Mail safety people on a national level to make it clear that this move was not feasible from a health and safety point of view. And finally, I'd just like to also mention the fantastic support from the Holbeck Delivery Office members, particularly certain members who showed up at every public protest event and who supported me personally as the rep within the office by word of mouth, the things that they said. And it got to a point where maybe some in the office felt that it was nailed on, that it was going to happen. I made it very clear as far as I was concerned, as did some other members within Holbeck Delivery Office, that it wasn't going to happen. They were going to fight it all the way. Demonstrated that solidarity that took us over the line in stopping Royal Mail from moving us into City Delivery Office.
It's a fantastic story, I've got to admit. And I just want to pick up on some of those points that you've just relayed. I think it's a good example there of the ASR, the Area Safety Rep Paul Arundel, getting involved with that campaign. It's a clear example when we come together in terms of the industrial relations and health and safety and the political strand of our union, come together and punch together in uniform. We deliver some fantastic results, which has ultimately led to this saviour. And actually, if you want to check out a little bit more detail on Paul Arundel's report prior to the AGM, I'll put a link up here so you can go and watch that at the end of this video. So in terms of national officers, you touched on Dave Joyce getting involved. I also observed you in one of the meetings that we attended, reps briefings, where you went and spoke to Mark Bolch about the situation. So was there some discussions, do you believe, within the national union officers with Royal Mail and perhaps trying to put some pressure on Royal Mail to save Holbeck on information that you put forward?
Yeah, because what we also did, we coordinated our efforts with CWU. So we got in touch with them and we had opportunity at one of the national briefings to speak both with Mark Bolch and Terry Pullinger, and we were able to put our concerns to them around why we felt the move wasn't feasible. And Terry Pullinger and Mark basically expressed support for that. They gave us the confidence to continue to go ahead and continue to move forward with our campaign, ensuring of course that we were on solid ground in doing so, and that the disagreements that we were putting in were based on national agreements, and we felt that we had that covered. But what I would say is that especially Terry Pullinger was very supportive, because every opportunity that I got to speak to Terry, both at national briefings and at AGMs and on other occasions, I brought up Holbeck Delivery Office. And I know Terry got maybe a little bit sick of me mentioning it, but in doing so I felt that as an office and as rep, we were getting his support. He actually told us that when he was the local rep at his office, they tried to close his office down, and he said they didn't, because of the efforts that he ran along with the members and the CWU to stop that from happening, which gave me encouragement to continue to fight for Holbeck Delivery Office.
One other area I just want to explore is, you touched on social media earlier, but did you actually use the mainstream media as well? Because obviously we've got some nice articles there to your left showing what you've done. You know, what sort of discussions were you having with the local press, and what sort of campaign did it happen online?
Yeah, we utilised local and area media as well. We obviously use social media through the Facebook, but we also got in touch with a local paper called South Leeds Life, and I also just want to mention the editor of that paper, Jeremy Morton. Fantastic support, because he's produced I think 3 or 4 articles, maybe 5 even, from the beginning of the consultation period right up to us winning the fight. As you can see there, that is his article as regards stopping Royal Mail from closing Holbeck Delivery Office. But also Yorkshire Evening Post got in touch with us, with myself, with Asger Khan, with Andy Lee. They also produced articles as well. So that got into the whole of the Leeds area, and we were able to speak to another media group, LeedsLead. They also produced online articles about the office closure. We did see as well on social media, on Twitter, Hilary Benz made a lot of comments about the office. Asger Khan posted a lot of stuff as well on the branch Facebook site, as well as on the Union website as well. So all ends up, we did utilise all the forms of media that we could in order to highlight the campaign and to get the needed support for it, as well as online petitions as well, I might add.
I think we're coming to a close now on that journey to save Holbeck Delivery Office. I think it's fair to say that collectively we wouldn't have been able to save Holbeck Delivery Office without the strength of our union, and particularly our members, that is that union. So what advice would you give to anybody else that may face a similar closure going forward, whether that's within the Leeds area or whether that's from a wider perspective?
The advice I would give is, first of all, as a delivery office or delivery offices, if there's more than one involved, is stick together. You must stick together. You must believe and trust in the union and have the confidence that the union are representing your best interests at heart. Not just financially, but what would be good for you as a member in terms of your working life going forward, as well as your pocket. The advice I would give is that as reps, certainly work very closely with area delivery rep, work very closely with your area safety rep, work very closely with the political officer, work very closely with your councillors, and work very closely with CWHQ. Communication is important, is vital. Using the means we've mentioned through social media in a responsible way, as well as the local media, but also, and vitally, and this is what I found, is sticking to your guns when it comes to national agreements. Obviously, as reps, we get trained on the national agreements, but we have to do our own work as well. So it's important that we inform ourselves, because knowledge is power. And the more you're conversant with national agreements, not just around national closures and mergers of delivery offices, but national agreements around health and safety, around the managing the surplus framework, national agreements around the IR framework, and what you can disagree with and what you can't disagree with, and ensuring even things that we found helpful on the equipment that is being proposed to be used within a delivery office, especially when it comes to mergers. Is it actually agreed? Have the parameters been agreed? And so on. And so we found that both myself and particularly the rep at City, Stuart, we found that by getting conversant with those agreements and using them in meetings with Royal Mail, that went a long way to showing and demonstrating that any proposed move or merger would not be in harmony with certain aspects of those national agreements, and particularly the new 4 Pillars agreement, where it speaks about being strategic partners and everything really being done by agreement, even on a local level. So we found by using those aspects, and as well as we said earlier, working together, very closely tight-knit as a group, both as reps on every level and certainly within a unit, sticking together, unity is strength. We have letting Royal Mail know that, i.e. Holbeck, very strong unit, and wouldn't be pushed around when it comes to ignoring national agreements, and that we would stick together. Royal Mail knew that. We made it clear to Royal Mail that if national agreements weren't adhered to, we would take a course that was necessary to protect the interests of our members, both at Holbeck and of course as well as City Delivery Office, and many of the members at City Delivery Office were on board with that as well.
Thank you very much, Chris, for your time in this interview. Remember, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, leave us a comment to show your support for what Chris and what the branch has done to save Holbeck Delivery Office. Remember, unity is strength. Thanks for watching.